Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League. We are about to kick off in our last series of the night. So far throughout the day, Rise and Rebel have blessed us. We Pioneers and PK just gave us a great series. And now eUnited and Noble are looking to do the same. It's been a battle between North America versus LATAM throughout the entirety of the night. And NA, well, we're up 2-0, all right? But Noble, they got something to say about that going up against eUnited. And with Noble, I think we can say that, I think in our hearts, we feel like they are the most well-rounded Latin American team with the best chance at taking a major. I'm excited to see them play up against eUnited.
Yeah, multiple grand finals appearances. Like I said, once you reach that grand final once, it kind of does something to you as a roster. It makes you believe you can do it, all that hard work paying off right in front of your eyes. And it just kind of gives you that extra boost of energy, that extra boost of willpower to keep on going, keep on stacking that experience in order to prevail at least one point or another. And I got to agree with you. I think at this point in time, it's almost hard to kind of debate against Noble being the #1 Latin American team in Gears Esports right now. And eUnited, formerly throughout history, one of the most dominant teams throughout roster changes from last season, losing the IGL in explosive and praise. They had some struggles in the beginning, but as of late, they've been able to find not only themselves as a team, but their play style and how they want to play these maps and situations.
Yeah, and I think that's very, very well said here. When it comes down to both these squads, they both have a unique play style, I feel like, and they are very adaptable. And I'm curious to see how it's going to clash with each other. All right. We'll be going into, taking a look at these teams here momentarily between the two of them. And, eUnited, this new roster, Jacob, over this last season, how do you feel like they performed?
I have from last season to this one, man. I think they're playing a little bit more into the meta, a little bit more into the game and how it is currently played in a successful way. You take out a legendary historical players in explosive and praise, and you got to think, oh, it's a downfall. This is where eUnited begins to crumble. But they got replaced by TJ and Demise, two young guns that are making a name for themselves in a very, very similar fashion. Then you saw a lot of those aggressive, a lot of those dominant teams. I'm talking about Gears of War 3. The Throwdown roster, Gears of War 3 again, the Glory roster. These are players that have what it takes to win that championship. And they won a mid-split playoff before, so now they rounded out with an IGL for the ages and Kenny Bounce, one of the best and up-and-coming players in the history of Gears Esports at the time, Powerz. And I think because of the lack of explosive pulling the troops into more strategic ways, that allows for them to play a little bit more free, play a little bit more loose, and kind of play in the moment. And I think right now, when it comes to Gears of War, playing in the moment is very, very crucial. Making sure that you're playing towards your hot hand and not necessarily leaning too much on things towards the back of your mind.
Yeah, I agree with that one, indeed, because you can go in there with any type of strategy in which you want to, but you have to make those plays in the present moment, because sometimes the game plan don't always work the way you intended to. You have to have that experience to be able to assess those situations. Now, speaking of experience, let's go ahead and move on over to Noble and break down this roster of Dyslexic, Toti, Xploidz, and Fearzly. The best well-rounded LATAM team I feel like we have out there in our league. And this is a squad in which you don't want to mess around with. They will punch you in the mouth. But Jacob, when it comes down to Noble, why do you feel like this team hasn't won a chip just yet?
I just feel like they're still a little bit green right now. And I say right now very, very loosely, because they have been getting so much experience, so much aggression underneath their belt, that I feel like it's only a matter of time. Like I said, we're going to have a Latin American championship this season, and I don't want to say it too much because I want these players to prove it. You have Dyslexic and Toti. When this team kind of first formed together, they were the notable ones. They had a lot of the spotlight, Toti being that IGL, support, flex, everything the team needs, and Dyslexic kind of being the Powerz 2.0 at sometimes, the way he's able to move around and take over the games. But as of late, these past couple of weeks, both Fearzly and their teammate are they're putting it together. Essentially, they're being able to find ways to get aggressive, to put the spotlight on them, take attention off of Dyslexic and Toti and bring it onto them. And doing that is very, very dangerous, because already Dyslexic can take over games. So now that you have your focus on somebody else, that's going to allow Dyslexic to play a little bit more loose and to play a little bit more free and take over games continuously with the rest of his teammates.
Very, very well said there. And they do need Xploidz and Fearzly to kind of alleviate some of that pressure there for the team. And when it comes down to Fearzly, I've gassed him up these last few times. I've casted him during the league, but I've his stats, they say a lot for me in a moment. He's always, being a great support player for his team, a great flex player. And it's good to see that from him, because that's exactly what this team needs. Selfless players, because they already got the talent, so they need someone just like him. Now, when it comes down to the key player matchup of this series, you got two players who are going to be making a lot of call outs for their squads, hoping to make sure they get them on track, lead them to victory, making sure they ain't making any bonehead plays out there. That's Kenny and Toti. Jacob, break down these numbers for me.
Honestly, out of every key player matchup we had in the history, I think this is the perfect example of a key player matchup. Very, very similar roles. Both of them have the experience underneath their belt. They're both the IGL support style players, but they're also a lead by example, which means they can put that Lancer away on their back, they can pull out their shotgun, and they can get aggressive with the rest of their troops. But that's just not their role. That's not how they work, and that's not how they like to approach a lot of these games. They let their teammates do the shine. So when it comes down to this key player matchup, it's not necessarily who's going to get the most eliminations. Heck, it's not even necessarily who's going to get the best stats. It's who's going to be making the best calls, who's going to be making the best rotations, and who's going to keep their team calm in these tight situations, because this matchup is going to be all out war. I didn't think we'd see a game number 5 in our last series. I definitely think we could see a game number 5 in this series.
We definitely can. All right. In KDs, both these IGLs evenly matched. In the respawn category, Kenny did trump Toti, even though the placings were what they were. He had more damage in the respawns. And on the back end, Toti got him in the execution. So definitely a even player matchup there. But as we head here into the predictions, who will win? Because chat, I know you guys are probably indecisive about who can take this series as well. But let's kick off the predictions, and I'll go first with myself. Before we do predictions, I would like to show you guys the map so I can make better predictions. Okay. Regency Control, Tomb Execution, Vasgar Escalation, District Control, and then Clocktower Execution will be the series. Looking at it as a glance, I think this is a great cycle for both these squads.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. There's a lot of aggression. I said about Tomb and Clocktower in terms of execution maps. They allow for different strategy, different looks, but they also can play very, very heavy in aggression. Both of those teams kind of picking those ones. You go break down the control maps. District playing a little bit different than Regency, but overall they have the same kind of formula. You Lancer, you play your teamwork, but once you get close enough, you pull out your shotguns and get your hands dirty. I think Vasgar is going to be an opportunity if a team the teams are tied 1-1 for somebody to gain some momentum. And honestly, before I said it and looked at this cycle, I thought we were going 5 games. I look at the cycle and I'm thinking, man, we are definitely going 5 games. We're about to be here to about maybe midnight Eastern.
Maybe. Because looking there at those middle 2 maps of the Escalation and District Control, I just, in my mind, the first thing that comes out to me, I'm just like, if Noble takes that Escalation, I see them taking the District Control right after. Like immediately right after. I can see both of them. If it's not a 3-0. Okay, that's if it's not a 3-0. But if they do take that Escalation, I can see them taking map number 4 as well. I think eUnited has to get off to a hot start in this series. And with that being said, we can officially move on over towards predictions. And I'll go first. And this is a hard one for me because Noble, the best lat AM team we have in our league, but just not even just best lat AM team, one of the best teams we have, okay? Right below Rise there in the standings. And I know what this team can do. But eUnited getting closer towards the major. I like what I saw against them yesterday versus Rebel. I like what I saw against them in E-Days, I want to say a few weeks ago. And, I just think as we get closer to the major, eUnited, they are prepared for matches like this. And I'm going to have to pick them for this series. Noble is a good choice and a favorite to win it, but I just think eUnited is going to edge them out.
Yep. I like that prediction, though, because honestly, we've been saying it throughout the course of the day. These matchups, it's hard to predict. It's hard to tell. Yeah, we had what we thought was an easy matchup number 2 to predict, which actually didn't look that easy at all. I got a bag of tricks here, Blaze.
What you got?
A small person deserves a small backpack. I got a bag of tricks, First
It really
things
is a
first,
miniature backpack.
and I'm gonna give away my predictions already because I'm land ready at all times.
Okay, at all times.
I got my controller at all times. I gotta stay ready.
Headset in there. Okay.
I got my headset here, and that's really it. I have
some
in my
hand
backpack
sanitizer?
right there. No, actually, I do, Blaze. Honestly, I do.
You got some hand sanitizer in there? Yeah.
I stay ready at all times. You know me, my bag of tricks. We got hand
Boom.
sanitizer. We got to stay safe. But I pulled out the headset because I stayed land ready for a reason. And this is going to give away my predictions. It's not an eUnited logo, even though, I picked up their skin on Halo yesterday. It's a Funky Bunch logo, man. We run deep. I got eUnited. I got Kenny Bounce taking this series. No matter if it's a 5-game series, we're going to 11 o'clock. I'm here. I'm with it. And I'm supporting my brothers.
I'm here and I'm with it as well. Chat, who are you guys going to predict coming out on top? Is it eUnited? Is it Noble? Who's going to win it? Chat said they going with Noble. Okay. I'm not surprised to see that whatsoever.
I'm not either, but
I'm not. It's going to be a good series. It's one of those series that's going to be great. Noble has a better record than eUnited. I want to say they've lost less. But at the end of the day, it's a matchup by matchup basis. Me, and I think eUnited can do this one. All right, I think they got it. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong.
Look at this,
and I'll have to adjust my predictions going over there and towards the next split. But we're about to head on over to Regency Control between both these squads, and we'll see who can get off to a great start. Controlling Rose Garden, rotating info. Are these squads going to play for the nades to start? Are they going for the M-bar? We'll find out soon.
Pioneers beat eUnited, right? I'm looking at the standings right now, and I don't want to do too much because I can be completely wrong.
Okay.
So this is unofficial. This is me speaking unofficially. If eUnited wins this series over Noble, I think they overthrow and maybe take third, and Noble drops from second to fourth, depending on how all the tiebreakers go down. So this is match, even though this is the last match for the Pro League, they're playing for thousands of dollars here. I love these type of matches.
I do too as well. Kicking this one off with Dyslexic, as he's going to be taking some shots here towards the back of Rose Garden. But it's eUnited who's going to be going down first. That's 3 being wiped off the map. Demise is the last one left alive. And he's going to be joining the squad momentarily as Noble wins the first team fight. They collect the nades. They should be able to get the M-bar as well.
Great start for Noble here, the early portions of the game. Kenny getting that M-bar in hands. I would like to see Kenny kind of dish that one over to Powerz, maybe even Demise, but I think Powerz would be the best bet for that one, but he's not in the position to just yet, so Kenny's going to hold on to it as he tries to reunite, along with Demise to push these players out. Powerz is going to be in towards the middle, and Toti has the job of being the flex. There's 2 players on him, throws one out, second one as well. Dyslexic goes down, so he's going to get taken down. Toti with a big shot being put on him by TJ, and I want to see TJ has to rotate towards next. Stagger out the death, but rotate towards next. Dyslexic got that long spawn across town. So this last remaining seconds is going to go over to eUnited, which isn't much. But more importantly, the next hill hold is going to go over to eUnited. Only the possibility here is you already see Noble narrowing down, just bull rushing towards that back line.
Yeah, bull rushing indeed, just trying to get themselves to the spawn. They were able to force back eUnited, but the M-bar is still in play. Kenny has 1 shot left. He lost his teammate. Maybe losing his life as well, but Demise he stepped up to save Kenny in that situation, and that allowed Kenny to step up and save his teammate Powerz in his 1v1. What would it be in a 3v3? He needs to move in quickly, and Powerz, as he goes down, eUnited, they need some pressure there from that spawn side, but they won't get it as Kenny goes down. Demise, 2 good shots, but will it be enough?
Nope, definitely not going to be enough to get the down. But TJ has a flank. That's going to be a big one. A big shot is going to be fired, so if his teammate can clean it up, and he can, that is going to be Demise. The job will be done, but the spawn point, that's going to be the lower half of this hill, goes on over towards Noble, so their battle isn't over just yet. And honestly, you see a split coming through, 2 different players. Demise getting shot over the top. He's forced to retreat. He goes down, quickly revive back up though. That's going to be Powerz trying to be the hero that they absolutely need. Demise finally gets flanked. He gets taken out. Powerz misses a shot over the top, but doesn't miss the second one. And TJ does what he can. He was one of the first players down and out. He's back to the scene of the crime, but unfortunately, he's going to fall all the same. eUnited was able to get some points off of this hill. Definitely wasn't enough as everybody making a rotation for the next one.
Yeah, they got some, not enough. But eUnited, they want to stay ahead of next, okay? They know their opponent won't stay there for all that scrap time. Now, Noble, they will have the spawn side, the height advantage, and the M-bar in hand. They got 2 marks as well. They can assume they know where the third is. They got 1 player getting hunted down. Fearzly will find his kill, but will he be able to get the info that it's another one over there? This would allow his teammates to make some plays, and a good headshot there coming out from Toti. Looking for another kill, but he hits his teammate instead.
Team kill coming through from Kenny as well. Shortly, he drops. The spawn point, though, this is going to be the saving grace. It goes over towards this eUnited roster, who already has 4 players. As long as they can beat Dyslexic to the punch, they could have that man advantage, but a shot grenade is going to buy some Dyslexic time to rotate on over. TJ is going to push through by himself. Don't know if he got the call for the shot grenade being there. A secondary flash is going to go ahead and stun multiple players, but a down's going to come through anyway. Even a revive, but TJ cements himself and his positioning as he picks up 2. Kenny goes down. Fearzly trying to hold his ground, but he gets dropped by Powerz. Kenny with a huge flank, able to get 1. So at one point or another, that was a squad wipe indeed, but you see the spawn and how much it really affects. That's Toti and the rest of that Snowball squad with a little bit of spawn shield, an opportunity to strike back, but this is where they have to be careful. As they continue to lose players, 30 seconds left on this hill, it might be a good idea to play for next.
It might be. It might be. As Kenny falls, Demise is still trying to play his life. He'll fall as well. Fearzly, he got 8,000 damage almost so far, 7,500. But looking to move in and make it 8,000 now as he cleans up the kill there on TJ. Officially, Fearzly is having himself a good map. 40-point lead here for Noble. They will be set up for next, and I think they're going to get the power weapon as well.
Towards the top half of the map, I think grenades is going to have to be a focal point for eUnited, but that middle position goes over to Toti, so he's going to be watching, gathering this information. Xploidz, very, very deadly player with these precision weapons. Everything's kind of falling in line of what Noble wants as they continue to get the first on towards this hill and rack up this score line. So you can see them kind of back off, maybe even baiting these players of eUnited to come in and grab those frags, and then that's where they might try and strike.
Now with 60 points on this hill, eUnited will be able to find 1 kill. That gives them a man advantage, but they need to get their numbers up top as soon as they can. They're going to have to dodge these M-bars from Xploidz at the same time as well. So far, so good as Dyslexic finds a double. Kenny, he's going to find 1, but can he stay alive until help comes? Dodges the M-bar shot, gets his health back. Ooh, puts himself in a better position to fight Toti. Almost got the kill. Was looking for some help, and help will come. That's a nade on the ground, forces those players out, forces Xploidz to the rest of his teammates with 36 points on his heel, Jacob. This has so far been a great fight for eUnited. 1 M-bar shot left in the gun for Xploidz, and that's the last 1 shot.
I like his little rotation there to at least try to stay alive, even though it was Toti who kind of sacrificed himself to save him. But he knew he had the power weapon. Sometimes it is better to leave your teammates out to die, use that power weapon and try to net some kills. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to pick up any eliminations. Demise with a ton of damage, forced to back down, drop down to 4%. Dyslexic grabs that shot grenade, but this is where I'm going to be looking at Kenny to grab that meat shield. Yes, that's going to give that shot grenade on over to Kenny. So if you guys are out there and you don't know that little trick, if your opponent grabs any bit of utility, even if they have the standard flash and a smoke, you have to have nothing in your hand. I've seen Xploidz do this time and time again. If you have nothing in your hand, you will grab whatever grenade they have in their hand. So that's why you see Kenny grabbing the meat shield instead of staggering that player out.
Now, as we get ready for the Fountain Hill, Powerz gets caught out, Jacob. But will he be able to recover? Yes, for now. But Noble, they have a pinch coming in from the top side as well. It will be Demise on a flank. His teammates are trying to stay alive until he gets there. A great shot to block off the stairs route. But 1 more shot needed for Kenny to come out on top. Luckily for him, as he jammed, Demise had his back. But now Demise needs to have the team's back. And
wow,
he's not going to be able to win that fight. 50 seconds left on his hill. It will be Noble able to set up.
That's why I said that player matchup between Kenny and Toti was absolutely perfect. Big double kill from Toti there. Like I said, leads by example. He's not going to put his teammates in any position that he wouldn't put himself in. Great flash by Xploidz, though. Great job to clean up that one. Almost looking scary. The longer you keep Powerz alive in those fights, the more dangerous he becomes. But 3 players down and out as Kenny gets eliminated. Dyslexic is immediately brought back up. So this hell is going to go majority over to this Noble squad, which puts so much more importance onto this next rotation. eUnited has to come up big here, or they risk going down huge. And already almost 100 points, and that's not huge enough, but Xploidz connects with one on the Kenny bounce. There goes TJ. He's put that pressure on. He's trying to survive here. He gets one down. He cleans that one up. I might have spoke too soon as he finally gets it to come through, but the reinforcements for Noble were there. It's only going to be in trade. Kenny returns to where he got taken out once, but this time he's going to make it there safely.
But now he's getting pressed. A nice flash for him to be able to press up on. The Lance Rain goes out, knowing that he has teammates out there out wide who can get some damage in as well. But the double down never came through. Did not get enough support, but also those nades was very, very problematic for, I think it was him and Demise who had initially played that. So with this Couch's heal, 58 points remaining. 2 members of eUnited ready to press in from the spawn side. You got 2 more looking to go in from the high side of the map. Fearzly misses a shot, doesn't miss the second one. But now Kenny's gonna have to wait to respawn and being able to get into this fight. So the rest of his team, they might do better just playing for next. Granted, there's 40 points left in this hill, and Kenny will get a quick spawn, so they'll be okay to get back into this fight, but they have to do it soon.
Both of these players kind of hitting half or partial shots over the top of the covers, which honestly could have been impactful if they get the elimination. TJ pushes forward, what looked like almost by himself, but he does have some help from Demise, former duo of Hive, coming over to eUnited. Quick revive to get back up. Xploidz by himself. He gets taken down, but he actually gets a trade. One on a Demise and a down onto TJ. Might as well rack that up into a double kill as you see the spawn across your screen from eUnited, all going down south. And that's where the next hill. We're returning to the Rose Garden. Frag grenades are going to be up shortly. You see the shot grenade getting picked up by Demise. And honestly, it looks like they were sharing ammo there between Xploidz and Toti.
They're giving each other a few shots. They got 3 apiece. Oh my God, Toti. He takes out his teammates there. He shoots 2 of the 6 in which he had. We'll see what Xploidz can do with his clip, because he had his shotty out in this fight. 68 points remaining in his new hill. A lot of time that these teams can acquire, and it's Noble with a man advantage. eUnited looking for a fight. They found one, but Dyslexic won the fight. So now these last 2 members of eUnited are getting pinched.
One's going to get taken down. That's going to be Powerz. Flash grenade. Oh, I thought it was going to stun one of his teammates, but Dyslexic throwing that one absolutely perfect. They even fooled me to get the stun to come through. This is where TJ, he's already stuck in that spot. He can't necessarily back down, but he gets saved by Kenny. Double kill from the Eggman himself, but he's going to fall. Fearzly and Xploidz. Yet again, it's those 2 this late half of the season who are coming up big for Toti and Dyslexic, making their job absolutely easier as Fearzly continues to go on a roll here. Multi-kills coming through. 6 straight objective kills. Make it possibly 7 as well as he takes out Demise. 250-point mark has been reached. Noble set their eyes on the next.
Oh boy, Noble. Just 40 points away from victory. They're going to have to break through this eUnited's defensive setup to get there. And Fearzly is going to collect all that time down low. They ain't in no rush trying to get these back spawns. Well, maybe Dyslexic is in a little rush, but he's dyslexic. We know that, all right? Tranquilo, brother. Now, Noble, as they're looking to start to press up here towards the back spawn, they're waiting for Dyslexic to come off the respawn and possibly help out Xploidz up top. And that's exactly where he will be spawning. But you see this, Jacob? eUnited, they say is, hey, forget you getting to a 4-man unit. We're going to kill you now. We're going to stagger some more of these players, and that was a smart move.
You can already see they're blocking that spawn point, so no matter what happens here, they're going to force that outward rotation to come through. And this is where Noble, man, even though there's 60 seconds, there's a whopper of time left on this hill. They can take all the time in the world that they want. It's only 31 seconds, so they have a possible 20-second cushion before they even have to make that push to come through. As long as there's over 31 seconds, it is winnable for them as they're just trying to gear up for this push. Dyslexic gets spotted out, making that rotation. You can see eUnited setting up towards the defense. Demise gets absolutely deleted by Xploidz, who looks to go back-to-back, missing the last couple of shots there, but they go ahead and put themselves on towards the hill with over 31 seconds left on it.
Kenny dodges some M-bar shots. He gets taken out. Man advantage Noble, evened up by Powerz. Misses the wrap shot. Demise, he's been able to help on it down. Still one more player to hill. Ducking and dodging, going forward. Demise changes his route. I like the play. He's back in a 4 fight, but he gets taken out. 18 seconds left. Ultimately, he did distract 2 players, Jacob. Kenny rotated over a bit late. But in the end, they needed every second in which they can get Noble will not win off of this hill. We are going to another, but eUnited has to do something spectacular if they want to win this map.
Yep. Xploidz just staying over there, bleeding that one dry, getting it down to just 2 seconds. Even if these players are alive, they step out the hill at the wrong time, it will be game over. Kenny falls. The pressure is definitely on. TJ being forced back. He hasn't fired a shot just yet. He fires one, but he instantly goes down. Powerz the last hope. He drops, and Noble will take map number 1 away from eUnited.
Woo-wee. Noble says we are the better team in map number 1 as they come out on top with about, I want to say they hit about 100 points on that victory. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. 100 plus at that. And Fearzly will be your top damage dealer, one of your top damage dealers next to Dyslexic, who just dropped 14s across the board. But Fearzly with the 2.0 KD plus the 14 assists. Yeah, he definitely did have a fantastic map.
He almost dropped the triple-double with the double-digit kills, double-digit assists, almost getting the double-digit objective kills as well. My man is going off. And honestly, that's what I'm saying, man. The first half of the season, the first half of the team's life even, it was Dyslexic and Toti, Dyslexic and Toti. That's all anybody could really talk about, rightfully so. They were putting in the big portion of that work, but towards these last couple of weeks, towards the season as a whole, it's been Xploidz and Fearzly almost all day long. Fearzly even getting MVP of that game, doing the most amount of eliminations, the most amount of work overall. So that's what makes this squad so dangerous, Blaze. And even though I picked eUnited, like I said, 5 games, I'm definitely up for it.
This may go to distance. This may go to distance, especially the way both these teams played that map number 1. And we both did predict eUnited to win, and it's still a great prediction. Okay, that was just map number 1 out the books, but I gotta say, Noble completely outplayed eUnited on that map. They outclassed them top to bottom. So we got to head on over towards this next map in Execution. And I do believe we are going over to Tomb soon. But, you know, as we see these replays, what do you think eUnited could have did better in this map?
Honestly, from what I've been seeing on map number 1, they're playing good to a certain extent, right? They're playing good as individuals. You see they're putting a good amount of damage. They're winning certain exchanges by themselves. But it's the overall team fights. When things get chaotic, I think eUnited needs to tighten things up just a little bit. They need to be able to take on multiple team fights, whether if it's retaking some hills or defending. I think that right now is one of the big lacks that they have. One of the things that they kind of need to kind of nail on here going into map number 2, Execution.
All right, we'll see if they can nail on that. eUnited, they're gonna need it. If they find themselves down 0-2 in this series against Noble, Jacob, I don't know if I got faith that eUnited can make the reverse sweep.
I don't.
Yeah, you say your prediction back?
They go up 2-0. Yeah, I'm taking it back.
Can we? Okay, we'll just take it back. You know,
we don't have to tell Reflections in Colin, man.
I think somebody said Blackjack, no take back. But we'll see. We'll see. It's Tomb Execution coming up. And we just saw a great Tomb Execution map. You know, it's going to get aggressive in towards the middle.
That's why I kind of like talked about it, hit some feedback points on it. The very early life of Tomb, it was heavy towards that torque bow. Once a player is able to get that torque bow in the hands, kind of divvy out the damage, funnel some players around. Then it kind of went into a 2-2. There was even more importance put on towards that torque bow and that first blood that goes around it, crossing a player out or immediately trying to take a 2v2 on that side of the map. But more recently, we've been seeing 4 in towards the middle, or maybe a 1-2-1, but the whole focus for all 8 of the members on the map is going to be in towards the middle. And that's where you saw Handles was one of the targets for that game number 5 in our last series. So I'm going to be looking at a couple players here, those players that are running out towards the middle, who are either trying to get to that first spot or trying to get the early damage to get it down for themselves.
Yeah, because, you know, one thing I've started seeing a lot of teams do on this map, we mentioned it earlier that, number 1, a lot more sniper play. A lot of these fights are being shifted towards that side of the map. And it turned into some big 2v2 and 3v3 team fights, leaving that torque bow lane as a pure 1v1. Also, number 2 is the focus on those 2 players there towards the middle, right? If you are able to get enough damage on one of those guys, then you will see a team execute a strategy to kind of go on there for one of those back A's, one of those quick one-shots to get that kill. We saw Kenny and Powerz orchestrate this multiple times last night going up against Rebel. You know, just kind of putting their focus on Demon towards the center line and just really making sure that they can hit them with as many pellets as they can with that shotgun to make them feel uncomfortable and to make them make a desperation move. So I'm excited to see what strategy eUnited is going to bring out. But I also know, too, as well, Toti's going to be anchoring there towards that mid portion of the map. So if he sees anything funny, he's going to make sure he calls his team back and make sure he adjusts them right.
I'm looking at chat right now. I see United say we're calling in reinforcements. It'll probably never happen, but I was kind of hoping to see maybe like a sub come in, explosive coming from the grave.
I was about
maybe
to say,
even praise the return of the Undertaker of sorts. Oh my God, those are the reinforcements they were talking about. An absolute hammer being thrown at him by Powerz to get the double kill. Kenny gets one, and Demise solidifies that fourth. The reinforcements are in, and eUnited start off with a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, nothing but straight aggression from eUnited in that round. It's a 22nd round for them. And, 2 kills for Powerz. So he got the first blood at the snipe side. And then from there, the rest of his teammates cleaned up without any issues whatsoever. Now heading into round number 2. Let's see who's going to be able to put out that first bit of damage. We're going to be following Powerz to kick this one off, as he's going to be matched up against Fearzly in this position. But Fearzly wants to get aggressive. Powerz did as well, but he got stunned and had to back up. But Kenny stepped up, missed the back A on Fearzly. They're looking to go 2v1 at sniper. Kenny's trying to stay alive, but Xploidz says, you 2v running the wrong person there, brother. Kenny can't stay alive. It is up to Demise.
Big Powerz going down. Kenny should have figured out a way to get out, but sometimes you know as well as I do, when you're already in the motion of the play, your motion of the rotation, it's kind of hard to pull back at a moment's notice, especially if you're kind of getting shot in the behind. You see Demise maneuvering around, trying to catch these players off guard, trying to separate them into 2 different 1v1 scenarios, but they both have the power weapons, a sniper and a torque bow, so they're both going to be able to keep their distance while still being a threat.
Demise, if he wanted any weapon in this 1v2, it was going to be a bow. Sheesh. Fearzly with a quick snapshot. Easy money for him. 1-1 on the board between both these squads. And Fearzly leading for his team once again at the top, but we're still early on in this map.
I think right now, Powerz got the double kill, which led to a victory in round number 1. He got 1 elimination, immediately goes down after, and his teammates fall. I think, like I said, a big focal point. That's going to be Powerz versus Fearzly, both of the players that are going to become a target for that cross in the beginning of these rounds.
Oh, Fearzly. He takes down TJ to kill, cleaned up, but a quick rebuttal from eUnited. Demise couldn't get the shot that he needed there. I think that was actually Powerz couldn't get the shot that he needed. And now we are in a 2v3 with eUnited down members. The snipes in the hands of Xploidz. No bow was picked up either. I think eUnited is going to try to make a play for these nades soon, but they need to make sure Kenny can get out safely.
Yeah, very, very uncharacteristic, like blunder on the side of Powerz. It's a 3v3. He goes in for the elimination. His teammates had the crossplays. He had no business doing that. They could have tried to down a couple of these players out, but he makes a very bad decision, and so does Kenny overpeaking Xploidz, who we've already known to be a threat, and he's just pushing out. He knows only 1 player left. It's only a matter of time here between they gather all angles, like shooting fish in a barrel. There goes an opportunity for Demise to strike. He misses the shot. Fearzly with the melee, 2 in a row for Noble.
Noble did a great job just staying composed, because Jacob, as you said, eUnited, they was in a good position until Powerz got taken out. He was getting rushed, but it was one of those like type of jousting matches. He saw his opponent coming for him. He's like, you know what? Even if I trade, we're in a good spot. Back A something. He tried to go for the kill. He had a lot of confidence, just didn't work out for him. So Noble with a lead here so far, as Xploidz versus TJ. Both players get stunned. Xploidz goes behind. What a smart play from him. TJ goes forward again, but Xploidz, was the damage done already? His team does have a man advantage. TJ is in a 1v2. Xploidz cuts back to help his teammate right away. They will be able to take him out. Demise can't win his 1v1, and Noble will win another round.
Yeah, I don't think anybody, even the players involved, expected to kind of misroll past each other like that. But that's where you sometimes get dealt a hand that you're not comfortable with. You just got to make things happen. It discombobulated Powerz a little bit, landed a big shot, and it instantly stunned after. So he had really no options. All his options were shut down. So great couple of rounds from Noble overall. They're doing a good job of striking first at the top half of the map that we talked about. Towards that sniper has been a heavy focal point on Toon.
Xploidz got stunned, but he makes it in. This is a bad spot for TJ. But Fearzly was even in a worse spot, because he was a little bit too pressed forward, thinking that maybe Xploidz is going to be a little bit more aggressive, but he was not. And now eUnited will have themselves a 3-man advantage as they hunt down Dyslexic. And Demise says, I'm not going to give you any free kills. You can get crossed out because that's how I like to win those rounds.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to be patient like that in some situations, because you see when you're in a 3v1, you have all the confidence in the world. It's as easy as it looks, but sometimes, man, you get confident as one player. 3v1 turns into a 2v1, 2v1 turns into a 1v1. For Demise, just having all the patience in the world, just knowing he doesn't have to do a single thing was absolutely perfect. Sometimes you got to let your teammate shine and get a couple of these eliminations, but when it comes down to the strategy, everything looking absolutely the same. Powerz going forward. He's trying to get that position first. Great stun onto Xploidz. Powerz pushing up. A great secondary stun onto Fearzly as well. The down's going to come in. That was cleaned up by Powerz, but he goes for the second peak. He challenges yet again. He gets taken out, so 3v3 is going to ensue. They lose Xploidz. Toti's down. Demise gets taken out. It's all up to Dyslexic here. 1v2 situation. Kenny and TJ on the side of eUnited. Dyslexic goes for the backtrack. Nice back A for a shot that's going to hit, but the damage was there from multiple members of eUnited as they win 2 rounds in a row to tie up the game.
All right, all tied up 3-3. And eUnited has been finding a little bit more success, putting their focus on Fearzly. Xploidz has been going, pretty much taking that snipe cave, pretty much, I want to say, every round but one. Yeah, every round but one. You know, so he's there, and now from that point, Fearzly becomes the focus mid-map towards Toti. Now, Xploidz, if he makes it in, he has to get a good cross, but TJ is ready to fight. Xploidz missed his shot, but he did not miss that melee. And that's just a 50-50 fight that TJ kind of keeps losing, but I understand that he had the confidence to go back since it was all tied up 3-3. But those last few rounds that they won, he wasn't taking it. And eUnited in a difficult spot as Demise is trying to play for his life, the last one up. He can't do it again, and he knows it.
Yeah. Powerz and him are kind of separated on 2 different sides. Powerz again. I mean, possibility is there to clutch, but do you use that much energy, that much gas, or do you kind of move on towards the next round? I feel like that is something, as much as I don't like to see these players kind of give up, because anything is definitely possible, but I can see why that they do it. They just want to move on to the next. They don't want to waste any energy that they can use in the progressing rounds.
Also, they know that it's damn near impossible in certain situations and execution to do it at any level, right? The best player in the world, okay, will do the exact same thing. Like, all right, give me to the next one. I can't win a 1v4. But they wouldn't have did that in Gears 1, because you can always win a 1v4 in Gears 1 if you're good enough. Now, Fearzly will be able to take down Powerz. But TJ, he is going to be the next focus of attention. He has 3 players swarming him. Not a lot in which you can do there as Demise drops back. Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
I'm just waiting right now. Is Demise daring enough? That's the thing, and he is. Oh my God, gets spotted out. Great teamwork right there from Noble to kind of spot him out, knowing exactly when he's going to pick it up. Pressure's definitely on Kenny here. Great shots to be landed, but he's just too hard. It's another one of those situation plays with the guy at the high ground, somebody crossing in towards the middle. Xploidz just kind of bouncing around, playing with his food. 5-3, though. Noble is on map point, seconds away, moments away from going up 2-0 in the series.
And Fearzly at the top, leading at the top on the scoreboard for the team. Noble, these last few rounds, man, like, they have so much patience, and I love their game plan too as well. They're putting a lot of their focus there on T. Actually, it's not even that a lot of their focus is on TJ. It's just that Xploidz got TJ's number, you know. And once he gets those few kills, from there, his squad knows exactly what to do, how to shut down Powerz. But you see how 3 players are stacking towards his side. Dyslexic pushes through. He cuts back, gets out safely. No one chases, but Fearzly gets it down. He stays alive momentarily. But eUnited, they are a 4-man unit, and they do have a man advantage. This is a must-win round for them.
They backtrack to get TJ, but Dyslexic is taken out in the middle. They're forced to go forward on the side of Noble, but they go forward into Kenny as he picks up that double kill with a little bit of help from Powerz as well. And I got to agree with you right there. I just think he's just staying one step ahead of TJ in a lot of these situations. And that's where I go and ask you, with all the practice that you think eUnited have done, is there any moment in your head to where you switch spots with Powerz, or do you continue to lean into your practice?
No, you don't switch spots. You just, you know, after so many scrims, if you know you get beat there, you should have a counter strategy, right? If he's taking that every single time, you know, fake your flash, save it, put your focus there towards the middle, but you can take him out the fight. You don't have to always be in his fight, because he ain't missing shots, right? If you want to fight him, you can fight him, but that ain't the guy you want to fight on this map. eUnited, 1 player left. And that's going to be Noble locking in round number 6 on Tomb to go up 2-0 in this series. Me and Jacob, we're scratching our head about our prediction. You know, it was a good one, but Noble, they're making this one quick. And they're letting everyone know who doubted them that, hey, we're ready to take this series. And we're in a great position to do so. Folks, map number 3 is going to be Vasgar. And you know how good both these teams are on that map. Don't go anywhere. We'll see if Noble can close this one out or if eUnited can get us to a map number 4. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gears Pro League as we are about to hop into map number 3, eUnited versus Noble. But so far, Noble has been dominating this series. They won by over 100 points in map number 1 Control. And this was a close one, but ultimately Noble wrapped it up with ease. And now we got to head on over towards Vasgar Escalation between both these squads. Jacob, how you feeling so far?
I mean, I'm not feeling confident at all in my prediction. I'm feeling down. I'm like down bad. I thought I had the season in the bag, and honestly, this is worst case scenario, not only for me, but eUnited as a whole. Because of what Noble's doing right now, Blaze, Reflections has caught up. Has caught up in our standing, has caught up in our predictions. So if eUnited loses this, me and Reflections go to a tiebreaker scenario, and it boils down to the majors. So eUnited, I know you guys are in chat. You guys got to help me out here. You guys got to help. We need something here. Where's Colin?
Do I need to FaceTime him? Should I FaceTime Colin on broadcast? I don't know.
We need.
He got to come in and give some words of inspiration to them if he can. But I know Colin's out there watching. And, you know, so far, man, eUnited, we've seen them in situations like this before, and they can definitely turn around. But it's going to be hard on Vasgar. This is a map in which I feel like both these teams are super talented in. But Noble being in this position, this comfortable, they can really slow this game down and not really get too ahead of themselves. So They have all that. They have the series comfortability on their side. And so they can go in here, play their game, but not have that extra pressure on their shoulders that if they lose a round, that it's possibly that they're going to lose the series because, you know, they're down 0-2. They're not. That's eUnited's pressure, and it's going to make it that much harder for them.
And just because this is a little bit of a new roster, even though you have experienced players like Kenny and Powerz who completed perfection in a full season, winning out the entire season of major events, but you have also 2 newer players that don't have necessarily the amount of experience that Powerz and Kenny were able to kind of get throughout years of not only playing Gears of War, but playing with one of the best leaders in the game in Xploidz. TJ did have that short stint for a while, but I think right now they will have the same issues as a whole for the squad of eUnited that Hive roster had when this team was a thing with TJ and Demise. They're getting too aggressive. They start to get taken out, and then they start to play very, very individual, and they don't have an answer to what's going on. So for eUnited, man, they need a miracle. I need a miracle. Coming down into this one, Escalation, it's more of the fundamentals. It's more of the foundation for what a lot of these Gears players in Gears 5 have learned. So if there's any map for them to take, is there any map for them to start this comeback for eUnited? It is going to be this map number 3 on Escalation.
Oh, eUnited is a good team here. You know, the old eUnited team, the old Hive squad, this team together, they know how to play it. But also on the flip end, Noble's good here as well. You know, I think this is going to be Noble's best Escalation map across the board. So this is going to come down to a chess match. And I think round number 1 is going to be probably the slowest round that we have of our series. I don't think nobody's going to make a move right away. I think it'll come down towards initiation in those 1v1 lanes to start. Maybe a dyslexic versus Powerz battle there. And we'll see how that turns out. And from there, we'll see what the next team's move is going to be, because it's going to be on a fight-by-fight basis. Because these guys, they don't like, even though they can play at a fast pace, they know they have to respect each other, because if they play too fast, they can get caught up. Secret man, double kill, come out. Next thing you know, the tables have turned on you. So anytime that, you know, you see a squad with a lead or a player die, I think it's going to slow down. One team is going to set up for the 2-1. The other team is going to set up for the retake.
Yeah, just kind of looking at this one, just looking at some replays on my other monitor, really taking a feel, taking it all in of what I think is the matchup and how it's been progressing. And I know I've said this before, but not the actual definition of perfect, but they are going to play near perfect. They're going to have to play near perfect on the side of eUnited to take the overall series. This map can get a little sloppy here and there, but they just have to be on point with one another, because the way Noble is playing, you might be able to win one map. Heck, you might even be able to win two to bring us to a game number 5, but it's going to be so hard. It's going to take so much willpower to win 3 straight maps against this squad with how they've been playing, but this is a great start for this eUnited roster. They get the double home setup, being able to break through. They get Dyslexic out early, which is a huge defining factor, but it's not Dyslexic who's been hurting them all day long. It's been Fearzly.
Yeah, Dyslexic wasn't able to see that flank from Kenny when he, flanked under the stairs. Great job from eUnited starting off with a 2-2, but I will say that TJ and Demise did a good job just holding off 3 members on this side of the map as long as they did, but they weren't able to get back as a whole. Demise takes one to the grave. That was big on his part, just to get one of those kills. That'll allow Powerz and Kenny to make something happen on the other end of the map, as they're going to start to cap up the B hill. They shouldn't overextend too much. One player is crawling over there. Yeah, Demise is finally taken out. Oh, because TJ never died, and so TJ came off the revive. He revived himself, and he tried to save Demise, but 3 members up on eUnited, and TJ needs to just hop on his hill now because he is in a bad spot.
Yep.
He may even have to jump out through middle.
And they know that neutral hill is kind of almost uncontested. These players off respawn, they getting that home hill back, but they're also getting that crucial information. And you can see where Kenny's positioning himself. He's spotting every one of these players. He's getting the information of where this rotation is coming through, but he needs to be careful not to overstep his boundaries on the flank, because that is Xploidz, who's getting better and better each and every week. But Demise gets taken out first. That's going to be a headshot. TJ falls shortly after. Hill is going to change hands, but the work is not over just yet for Noble. Kenny's trying to push up, taking out Xploidz. He gets the down, which is absolutely massive, though. But his stone must go on. He almost gets taken out, but it's Fearzly who takes out Kenny before that flank can come through. But as you see the top half of your map, the win condition is still in favor of eUnited.
Yeah, he popped that stun and almost saved his life until help came. In the end, it was Fearzly who got the kill on Kenny, and Kenny traded it out. Dyslexic at the home hill of eUnited. It will be, it was almost a triple cap domination being threatened there, but when we get the eUnited capping up the C hill, the win condition will still be in favor of Noble. So eUnited has one push to be able to lock in this round number 1, and they got off to a good start here too as well, Jacob. But they're losing it here towards the back end of the map. Now double down at B. They're gonna let their teammates fight a bit at A, see if they can get that. But now with eUnited losing the lead, they have to go forward, but that back game from Fearzly was so clean. Okay, they got the decap, but yeah, they won't get what they need in time. Even with the capture, 45, 46, it just takes a while, and a player just isn't on B in time. Great effort from eUnited, but even better composure here from Noble to take round number 1.
And that's something that's just really just defining. The real difference maker is, doesn't matter how close these rounds are, it's Noble who's just not going down without a fight. On the other side of things, no matter if it's close, no matter if it's long, it's eUnited who are just coming up short. And that's kind of been the name of the game today with how Noble has been playing. They're just dominating. They're creating the perfect moments for their team, no matter if it's one individual or all 4. Like, we keep pointing out how great and explosive Xploidz and Fearzly have been for this roster at the last half of the season. And you can see how it's affecting overall. It makes everybody's day and jobs that much easier.
All right, heading into round number 2. Botox picked up at both squads, but Noble this time around will be running a 2-2 as well. Powerz saw both players right away. He calls for help. He'll hold his ground because he knows that help will have his bottom lane, but he even gets aggressive. He misses a few Botox shots. He hits one more, he gets that kill.
And honestly, in this game, he's still playing very, very good. So take it with a grain of salt, but he's missing a few more shots than you normally would see him miss. He's usually kind of outlandish with what he does to people, putting them on skates time and time again. Double flashes into the same spot. Dyslexic is the target. Kenny pushing up. Missed a couple more Botox shots. Powerz goes down shortly after. The 1-2 punch combo from Fearzly and Dyslexic will cement themselves another hill. And now a flank is coming through from Dyslexic. Eye on the prize. Frost is going to be there. Demise and TJ, they split up. They scramble. Demise Demise goes down. It's going to be up to TJ here, and he's going to fall. Triple cap domination opportunity. Kenny needs to go big. He needs a miracle here, and Fearzly's not even giving him a hope onto the hill, but finally reinforcements are there. Kenny goes down. Kenny is out, and so does Powerz. Triple cap domination for Noble. Any miracles are going to be needed. Demise gets one. He gets the tap reset, but that's not enough time to buy the rest of your roster, as TJ is just short, and Noble goes 2 in a row.
Yeah, Noble, boy. Now, especially after the back of that round. Whew, they really do have a lead in this series, a commanding lead. eUnited is playing from behind, and they need to just figure out some way to get this one all turned around here, Jacob. The fights aren't going their way, you know. When it comes down towards the initial, I will say this, that it went bad in that last round when Powerz missed as many Botox shots as he did. He hit a few more. Those players are on top of the home hill, threatening them the way that they were. And then from the back end of the map, you know, you had some 2v1s being won there off the side of Noble. So they, you know, they were able to quickly get that round in. But in the end, eUnited just got to put out a little bit more damage that round. It's a lot that could happen, but it's still early on in this map. Just down 2 rounds.
I don't want to call it too early, because eUnited is one of those rosters that throughout history have always been able to come back. They've always been able to come back towards the last half of games. But when you put yourself so far into a hole like a 2-0 series, so far into a hole like a 2-0 map lead in your could be final game of the day, that makes everybody just play a little bit more antsy in these situations. I see Dyslexic backing up. He does have that help from Fearzly, but that's not going to stop eUnited from trying to get a break. Kenny with a flash. He's going to push up to try to take away that positioning. The break's going to come through. That is going to be Powerz, but Fearzly is not backing down just yet. He's making sure eUnited has to check him every step of the way.
But he pulls both these players down the stairs. Dyslexic should be able to get free shots with the retro. Fearzly goes down, but shotties are pulled out now. Oh, great shot from Dyslexic. Duck dodge, clean up, back in a 1v1. Oh, Powerz, he saves eUnited's confidence right there, because they lose that fight against Dyslexic. You got to throw the white towel in.
Pride, everything right there could have been over in that last exchange as Powerz. He's just backing down just a little bit. I want to say Toti maybe could see him with that angle, but he's definitely going to see him now, giving up his position. He's going to get some help from TJ on one side of the map, but with only 1 hill under their control, 2 for the Noble squad, they're going to have to figure out what they want to do, how they're going to attack. Xploidz biting off more than he can chew. He gets taken out by Kenny. Fearzly spotted running away, so they know this rotation is going to come through.
All right, now, oh boy, as Powerz is looking to move in, he gets 1 kill. Now, his teammate, he's going to need some help, but his teammate fell behind him towards Dyslexic, and now he's getting crossed out. At this moment, Noble with the A to C hill set up. They'll have a player coming off respawn to help defend it. They're in a good spot. eUnited, they need to be a full 4-man unit. They're going to take 2 2v2s. I think a 2v2 at C and a 2v2 at A.
Noble, they already have the win condition at the top. They have a 25+ point lead and counting. On one side of the map, they're already on the hill, but being on the hill is not going to be enough. They need a decap and capture it as well. 1 down is going to come through on Dyslexic. It's not going to back down Noble just yet. You see, it's actually going to do the opposite. Now they're going to get it just aggressive. Dyslexic gets it down onto 1. 1 player gets downed out. Everybody from eUnited are falling. Powerz just trying to stay alive. He gets downed out, even takes a hop to the death screen, as Kenny's going to be the last remaining hope, and he gets sent to the Shadow Realm by Toti as Noble look to lock in another round.
Oh boy, Noble's on a different level today.
Yeah.
Noble is just on a different level today. Look at the Lancer fire. The support, the patience. He dodges them, but at the end, it's not much what eUnited could do. Nobles is backing up slowly but surely to be able to lock this round in, and that's going to be 3 in a row for them. This is getting hard for eUnited. This next round is a must-win.
Definitely is a must-win. If you go down 4-0, we talk about needing to be perfect. You need to win 5 straight rounds in the next map, go into another control, win that one, and then go into another execution. This is going to be a moment right now. If you guys are listening, hit record if you guys are watching, because this is going to be history in the making. If eUnited can not only win this map, but win the overall series. And this is not something you want to get lost like the old MLG days.
Yeah, that's a valid statement. I double down on what Jacob just said. Okay, so record up, and it's either going to be a 4-minute recording or maybe a 40-minute one. So it's either one or the other. One or the other. So we'll see what happens. Now, Dyslexic is going to be pushing towards his A hill. It's a 2v2 fight on both sides of the map. Noble gets first blood. The eUnited, they need to win the tank fight. Demise has to go huge, but he cannot as Xploidz takes him out. The 2v2 fight at A, these players may jump the hill. Yeah, jump it.
Trying to go for they want to make him desperate. Once that sound starts to happen, they begin to push forward, but they're still outmatched here by the numbers. A quick revive going in as Toti actually goes down. Both of these players are going to lose, but great attempt from Dyslexic. He was able to at least sneak one elimination, discombobulate and confuse a couple of the others. Xploidz finds a sneaky one on the Demise to go back into this spawn, and honestly, I don't necessarily agree with it, but this is why he's a pro player.
Tranquilo, Big Pig. Tranquilo. Great kill, but if he backs up, his team's in a better spot, right?
Yeah.
So now he even could have got them across over there towards C Hill from where he was. Dyslexic finds a kill there on Kenny, a big one at that. Now, Noble, they're controlling 2 hills, but they just lost B, and they're going to focus on getting B back and not go for A.
Back and forth between these two teams. Nice flash towards the backside, make him back off of those steps and go towards the back tank. Late rotation coming in from Kenny, so they're going to be able to go in without that Lancer cross coming through, and they go out before Kenny can even shoot a shot, and he tries to make something happen anyway. He gets taken out. Powerz feeling that pressure here. Must win 1v1. Going against Dyslexic. Both of them missing some melees. Powerz comes out on top, though, but they're still swarming. They're still trying to attack. They don't go for the hill. They want to make sure Powerz doesn't sneak by. They don't want to allow him to get loose and annoying, and they shut him down. Xploidz cleaning up that elimination. You see United off a spawn. They want to go towards that neutral hill. They're trying to make something happen from one place to the next. At least get this one, get the elimination, and get this hill capture.
Now here comes Fearzly and Dyslexic to try to take down Kenny. Great flash. The stun is there, but he has to reposition himself. Being pinched on the right and the left. He can't get it. He gets some help, but help's not there in time. The real help is at the C hill, but now Powerz in his 1v2 as he gets taken out. The C hill is looking to take down Toti, but they had to make quick work of him, and I like the play of chasing him in spawn, backing up a C, because that's going to give your team a better hold. But now Fearzly, he knows exactly what he needs to do.
That was actually perfect. Fearzly acts like he's going up those steps, doesn't get marked. So the teammate goes to meet him there, and he go ahead and finishes off with a flank to solidify those 2 kills, but gets a little bit too aggressive. He gets taken out by Kenny. Now it's Kenny's turn to try to get that hill back underneath their control, because they are separated by about 15 seconds here. Powerz gets taken out. Neutral hill is going over. Kenny needs to get in this hill, whether he gets taken out or not. He gets the down onto Xploidz, but he falls shortly after. TJ with the revive. This one's coming down to the wire, but they might need to break that neutral. 10 seconds remaining. That's not going to be enough time. You see the cog with the win condition intact. They're going to get attacked from 2 different sides, but it's not going to be enough. Noble will now be up 4-0. A commanding chokehold over their competition and the series as a whole.
If eUnited reverse sweeps, they're winning the major. Like right now, if they reverse sweep, they're winning the major. We're just gonna throw that out there, right? We still got a few minutes left on the recording. If they reverse sweep now, they win the major. It is bold, but man, being this far with your back this far against the wall, and you find a way to win this series, it does a lot for the team's confidence, right? Sometimes that's a series that you guys need for everything to start gelling, to start meshing. That's the missing piece of the puzzle. It's not a player. It's just sometimes, you know, having good maps, getting some good wins under your belt, so the whole squad knows that we got the confidence to do it. Now, with a sniper being placed down at tank, we got shocks on the map. Things can get really, really interesting, but we know one thing is that we're going to see a lot of fights happen down here at tank.
Yep. Actually choosing not to try to go for the quick pick and Noble. They don't have to make any daring plays, though, so I can see the logic behind that one as Toti cements himself behind the tank. Another rotation, and Fearzly with that shot grenade going over. This one is already gearing up. Noble is looking like they're just trying to formulate that strategy on the tank side, and then use both the flashes and the shocks to try to push over.
Oh, just like that was a weak shot. The second shot was weak too, but Powerz, a lot of power behind his. Now he gets the home hill. eUnited is feeling a little bit more comfortable at D. Now Powerz, he doesn't move too much from here. He lets his teammates do the rest of the work. His job is done until Dyslexic shows up again for some more action. And you know what the funny thing is that Noble's gonna let him take it. They'll let him go fight it again. And if he doesn't win it, they'll use that as an opportunity to push.
Yeah, and even no matter what happens here, if they lose every exchange from here on out in this round, they're still up 4-0. They can just immediately kind of shrug that one off and get ready for this next round. But Dyslexic with try number 2 is just pushing down Powerz to try to gain some sort of positioning. There's that shock grenade combined with the flash that I was talking about. Luckily for them, they're able to get revived back up. But I think a player was stuck in the corner for a moment. And this is why they're trying to dish out that damage. They're not wanting to let that sniper go away for free. And there goes a double down to come through on the other side of the map. Dyslexic goes down. That is the shining hope, the big shining hope for eUnited as a whole. Powerz winning that exchange is definitely keeping them alive.
He's got to meet him at the top of the stairs, and this is going to be his spawn side of the map. Powerz will be by himself. Here comes Dyslexic as well. Powerz has reinforcements in 8 and 7. He just needs to get there quick enough, but now the jig is up. He needs to be quick. But Dyslexic had to stop motion because Powerz finally realized that Help was in position. But as they cut through mid-map, they're going to go play for D. Noble says, you know what, you guys can have that. We'll work for something else.
Noble knowing that their win condition is still intact. But I do think they're going to need a triple neutralization to come through, so their job is never going to be over in this round. I think basically until they win it. If you look at the score line at this point, F is going to be decapped. So Noble, as long as they keep that, they need a full-on wipe in the back of their minds, and they only have a few short seconds, maybe even one last team opportunity to do it. They could come out on top as long as they play into it. Dyslexic gets one. That one's going to be traded out, though. That's Demise. Xploidz finds himself onto the hill to get himself even more time. If he didn't, there's only 10 seconds. Now, they've doubled up that.
Yeah, they did. And this is a good one for eUnited to get them on the board. I don't see them losing this one. E is locked in. E is locked in as well. And Noble says, okay, you guys can get that one. That was eUnited off their good side, but Noble's going to their good side. I'm in round 6 for the second half, and that's the swarm spawn. They can probably come out here and play a 2-2 strategy. I think that's actually what they're gonna do. Even with Snipe being down on the map, if they can rotate quickly, they'll have themselves in a good spot. Also, too, as well, it's about getting that shot grenade in position right away. Let's see if Noble can do that. They may even get themselves a retro lancer to work with, too, as well, as they defend this hill. As they defend the sniper.
I like that retro pickup. Place down, I should say. It's going to put a lot of damage out for anybody that's trying to hold a certain position. But you still got to hope. I think eUnited should do a mad dash for the sniper. Get it in their hands early on. Yep, you already see 4 players going over there. They're going to have an all-out war. Actually, 8 players going over there. 4 from each team. The sniper is going to be in the hands of TJ. He goes down early on. Shock grenade towards the backside. They're not going to be able to get the double revive. And Dyslexic gets first blood. They're losing everybody on the side of eUnited, but Kenny is going to be the defining hope. Along with the help from Powerz, they cement themselves 2 eliminations, but the cross goes over. It's all up to Kenny, and he saves the day. It's going to come down to a 2v1 situation here. Sniper's still up for grabs, though, so this is going to be a victory no matter what happens for eUnited in terms of the initial.
Oh, what a great shot. It will be. As eUnited, they have the F hill, and now they're going to have the neutral hill as well. So, the power weapons, the map control, they got the lead. Now, they just have to wait for Noble to kind of play into their hands and get marks on these players. Powerz is calling for help, and he needs to hit one body shot or the headshot or another headshot. Maybe he gets 3?
Do it. Oh,
he tried to.
Wishful thinking there in that situation. But the only thing that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it sucks, but on the side of eUnited, all of that work being done by Kenny, back-to-back headshots, it's so early into this game, so the potential for Noble to come back is still there. They can pick up a quick couple eliminations, maybe even get a squad wipe. This round could be over. So for eUnited, they can't get content on those big plays.
I love that shock blocked anyone from kind of cutting towards Powerz right. But with him going down, it really didn't make a difference there. As you will see the swarm on top of the home hill. A big 1v1 happening at E. Demise just needs to make sure that hill does not get decapped, as Kenny's gonna be fighting for his life at Noble's home hill. Once the dust is settled, chat, It's Noble with a 2-to-1 heal setup. I take that back. Oh, I doubled down on it again. I thought they had to get F, but they get D&E and Noble 70 points away from victory. They're gonna have eUnited got to win a big 1v1 at E, and they're gonna have to push through this tank side of the map, which is one of the most difficult areas to push through. I think eUnited has to play for E and try to get some flanks here through the middle if they want to win this one.
Yep, it's only going to be a 1v1 on that side of the map, and you kind of see them both fighting for position. I got to think the new sniper's got to be up soon as well. Monster shots being landed by Fearzly, but the numbers is going to be too much, followed by some utility. Demise goes down. Powerz gets it down onto one. That one's going to be cleaned up by Kenny, but he goes down immediately after, so they're losing numbers left and right. They even lose Kenny for a moment, but he's getting brought back into this one by TJ. So this fight is going to continue for the neutral. Kenny finally is going to drop. TJ is going to be crossed, and him and Toti, they solidify that elimination, almost going for a triple cap domination as well. The late portions of the game, a few seconds of a lead are right out the window as eUnited now have to get desperate.
Desperate indeed. That's one kill, but they have to get through this snipe. eUnited just needs to decap number 1. The capture is going to be number 2. And with Powerz going down, Noble 3-0 against eUnited in this series, proving anyone who doubted them wrong, letting everyone understand that, hey, we're ready for this major, and we could do this for LATAM. We can bring home a chip, the first trophy. And it's going to be led by that man on your screen, Toti, 21K. He went +6 on the KD, but also 13 assists as well. The entire team, it was a team effort. 13 was the minimum for assists.
Oh man, you got to give it up to Noble though. Just, I wouldn't even call it an upset at that, as they now lock in, I do believe, 2nd place because of that head-to-head matchup against Rise, in which they did lose that matchup overall. So you got to give it up to Rise for controlling their destiny overall. But man, Noble, like you said, is looking strong. They are looking dangerous. Even though we have E-Days tomorrow and the major event 2 short weeks away, if the event was now, I almost got to think Noble has to have the best odds besides maybe the Pioneers themselves.
I think you are right with that one. Okay, I think they are definitely 1 and 2. They're 1 and 2. Well, Rise is in there, but I feel weird calling Rise 3. But they got to show up at the major. I was about to say they got to show up at the major. So, granted, Noble hasn't finished number 1, so we could say Noble and Rise are tied for 2, right? They've both been to grand finals. Rise has made it further than Noble before in the past, so I'm gonna put Rise a step above them. But Pioneers, I'm gonna have them there at the top at the end of the day. And this was the end of our first split to kick off Pro League this season, Jacob. And as it's concluding, what a split it was.
Yeah, I said we were ending at midnight Eastern. I'm right. I'm just going to go ahead and say I'm right because of daylight savings time. something that shouldn't exist anymore.
So you ain't changed your timers is what you're saying.
Right. I mean, it depends. Is it my microwave or is it my TV? Because there's 2 different times. So depending on where you ask me when I need to leave, I got to check the right clock. But you can see it, Fearzly, man. Can we give him Player of the Week now, or is it too early? We got to debate it later.
It's between him or Vexi's. Like it's one of the 2, right? Because I'm down to fight for them both. I think they are very, very deserving of it. The 2 most consistent players most consistent players for the team, if you ask me, as far as them being in every single fight possible. And the damage shows that, right? The damage just shows that it shows their awareness. Oh, this is beautiful, right?
He's really doing everything that he can. That's why I said that matchup between Toti and Kenny was a perfect matchup to start off this game. Both IGLs, both play the very, very similar roles. Because when Toti has a sniper in his hand, he's deadly as well. It's almost like they're mirrored players in a sense, and rightfully so. They've teamed together for a certain amount of time. They are best friends playing games outside of Gears with each other. So even though they had some bad blood while the game was on, and Toti probably won't let Kenny live down that 3-0, I bet you if this was a live event, we'd probably be going down to dinner together, eating some chicken fingers somewhere.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. You are absolutely right about that one. And I want to double down on some of the chats here earlier. It was Mike, and I agree with you. Tortas over tacos, okay? Just want to throw that out there.
Oh, tortas.
Tortas over tacos.
That's a good one. I had one last Mexico City. See, I just like to try things, man. Even I'm a very, very picky eater, but when I'm in a place, I just like to try things. Just like right now, Noble just tried eUnited. And I'm thankful I have that hand sanitizer at the end of the day, Blaze, because that was just dirty. They did them dirty.
Pull it out your bag now, Jacob, and get lubricated, all right? Because at the end of the day, man, Noble, they breeze past this series. And, they're number 2 in the league. And so with that being said, that's going to conclude it all right? We have officially sanitized over here. The league is officially wrapped up. But we got the major coming up, and we also got E-Days tomorrow, all right? And those are 2 important things. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second. I do want to get you guys the final standings to everything and let you know how it all happened. But as we recap today's standings, was a 3-1 Rebel against Rise. Was it 3-1 against Rebel against Rise?
It was.
Yeah.
Wait, was it?
No, it was. Yeah. Other way around, right? Rise over Rebel.
It's all right though. Right there, 3-2 though. The Pioneers versus Pittsburgh, and that was definitely a doozy of a match. And it goes to show, no matter how inconsistent they might look at times, you can never count them out. And it's even comical to say, because they can go from 1 week almost losing to Fire and Ice to the next week almost taking out the Pioneers, the defending champions. Yeah, you can't count the Knights out whatsoever. I got my eye on them, tomorrow as we go into E-Days. And, I'm going to try to catch some of these scrims as we get over towards the major if they are streaming them, because, they got a lot of preparation they can do. And they definitely have a chance to go far. And I mean top 4 far. But as far as their performance in this league, it wasn't too good. And you guys will see that in the standings momentarily as Rise came out official as number 1 in our league. But as you trickle down, Jacob, was there any surprises here in the scoreboard for you? Yeah, I mean, there's a couple towards the bottom half. Seeing the Pittsburgh Knights at 8, we're talking about the inconsistencies. But to see Oxygen and Elevate above them, that to me is a little bit surprising. Elevate has definitely took over and surprised some teams. Oxygen has been progressively getting better each and every season, but I just did not expect to kind of see that at all. Hive, their only matchup victory was against Fire and Ice, and honestly, that was a match where Lava and Cells were literally taking on the world.
They absolutely turned up. Had to go game 5 just to pull that one away on Canals, and they didn't want to be the worst team in the league. Okay, I'll tell you that. They said they were cool with being 9th, and 9th sucks. And take it from me, okay? I got 9th place way too many times to count. You just one outshot of that top 8 of the league. It's just the worst, all right? But I expect them to bounce back there during the LCQ and make it back to our league, because Cells and Lava, they've consistently been here for a long time. But overall, you guys, these are Pro League standings officially locked in. So give a big congratulations to Rise in the chat if the fans are out there, because they did something, for how they lost last season and how they came back. I think it was a great bounce back for them. Okay. They still got a lot of work to do. All right. So with that being said, where do they have to do this work at? Okay. Where are they going to have to go to war? Well, you saw it during our commercial breaks a few times, but I'm about to let you know one more time. It is the Fall Major coming up December 3rd through the 5th. Our first event of the season. You do not want to miss it. I honestly cannot tell you who's going to win. I don't know. It could be like one of 6 teams that can come out, show up on a Sunday, and be ready to earn that check.
Yep, I got to agree with you 110% with that sentiment, because once you take 12 teams, you kind of kick 2 to the side, you're stuck with the elite. You're stuck with the best of the best. And honestly, you're talking about so many teams. You got Rise, Noble, Pioneers, eUnited, Rebel, Pittsburgh Knights, even at 8th place there in their overall standings. They all have the opportunity to win, but you have to be the best team on Sunday overall, but you have to make it to Sunday. So you could scrape by, man, on Friday. You can get a saving finish on Saturday to make it to Sunday, and you can come out champions if you just wake up with the right mentality. But for any of these teams here today, man, these are these last moments. You got E-Days tomorrow, put an extra $3,000 in your pocket, and then your last bit of practice before that major. You guys need to make sure you put these other games on the shelf, because this is where these champions are born. You're either going to let the Pioneers continue the storyline of their dynasty building, or we're going to have a new champion.
Well said, Jacob. Well said. And I'll leave you with that one. And E-Days are tomorrow, as you heard him mention, so our players cannot relax just yet. They still have to go to war in a single elimination tournament where a winner takes all. So make sure you are here. Make sure you're at twitch.tv/UMG Gaming at 5 p.m. Eastern time to be able to check out that event. Me, PR, and Taylor will be casting that one. So it's going to be one in which you don't want to miss. That'll be our last major tournament. That'll be our last big tournament before the major. So our top 8 teams for that one are really going to put on a show for us. So with that being said, I hope you guys at home had a fantastic night enjoying the show. And that's going to do it for PR myself for today. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for E-Days in the major in 2 weeks' time.